I'll never forget the night I found the hidden room in our basement. The power had gone out, and as I was fumbling around for a flashlight, I discovered a small, concealed door that I had never noticed before. Curiosity got the best of me, so I opened it and found a staircase leading down to a dark, secret room. The air was thick and cold, and the room was filled with photos of me, hundreds of them, taken at moments I thought I was alone. Some were from years before I'd even met my husband. There were journals detailing my every move, my favorite places, and even snippets of my conversations, all in my husband's handwriting. I felt sick. How long had he been watching me? Before I could make sense of it, I heard footsteps behind me. I turned to see him standing in the doorway, his expression eerily calm. I backed away, stammering, trying to ask him why he had done all this, but he just smiled, saying, "I knew you'd find it eventually. I just didn't think it would be so soon." He stepped forward, and that's when I realized I wasn't going to leave that room. He closed the door behind him, locking it with a click. I screamed, but no one could hear me down there. He had planned this, prepared for it, as if he had always known I would eventually discover his obsession. He told me that now that I knew everything, he couldn't risk letting me leave. He said he wanted us to stay together forever. Days passed, and he kept me in that room, bringing me just enough food and water to keep me alive. He watched me through a small camera mounted in the corner, his eyes on me at all times, a chilling reminder that he was in control. Every time he came down, he'd sit beside me, talking about how perfect we were together and how I had no choice but to accept our new life. Desperation turned into determination, and I knew I had to escape. On the third night, I noticed the lock on the door wasn't as secure as he thought. While he slept upstairs, I managed to pick the lock using a broken piece of metal I'd pried off the bed frame. My heart was pounding as I pushed the door open and crept up the stairs, praying he wouldn't hear me. I reached the front door and ran into the night, barefoot and shivering, but free. I didn't stop until I reached a neighbor's house, where I collapsed, telling them everything. The police were called, but by the time they arrived, my husband had disappeared. They searched the house, but he was gone, leaving behind the photos, the journals, and the memory of those horrific days. I've been living in hiding ever since, constantly looking over my shoulder, afraid that he'll find me. He's still out there, and I don't know if I'll ever truly be safe. But I refuse to let him control me anymore. I escaped once, and no matter what happens, I'll never let him take my freedom again.